This is Jim Williams with your Hurricane City tropical update for October 23rd, 7 p.m. We're watching newly formed Tropical Depression number 18 in the Western Caribbean Sea. Here's the HurTrack program running the animation with the forecast from the National Hurricane Center having this going west towards Belize and then heading up into the Yucatan just south of Punta Allen, Mexico. Now, the models are kind of split on where this is going to go, so everybody needs to pay close attention to this from Central America all the way to Florida and Cuba, because this could go just about any place depending on the timing of a trough and a weakness to the north of the system. There's a lot of scenarios that could play out. I'll try to explain it the best I can here in this update, but it will be an abbreviated update, and the model data will get better over the next 24 to 36 hours, but normally when you have a newly formed system, the models have trouble initiating the position and everything else. So I'm just going to go over the basic model thinking right now, and then we'll be able to tweak it over the next several days. By the way, on the front page of Hurricane City, the current feature remains Cancun, Mexico. They were affected by Invest 95L, and it looks like this one's going to head that general direction as well. So we're going to leave up Cancun as the current feature, and that may be the place where this is going to go. We'll have to see about that. All right, the hurricane hunters have been flying around out there. There's the pattern they're flying right now. But if you notice, let me get rid of these observations here. So you see only the vortex messages. And we have a frozen screen. Oh, there we go. Okay, we go back about 2 hours. There's the two vortex messages on the map showing the current position of Tropical Depression number 18. The first message at 1,008 millibars. The second one, we still have 1,008 millibars. So far as the hurricane hunters are flying out there over a 1 to 2 hour period, there hasn't been any pressure falls out there yet. So the system's not rapidly gaining strength, but it does look like it's getting better organized on satellite imagery. Let's take a look at the visible shot of this system, and you can see it wrapping up really nicely here. The National Hurricane Center, I don't know what they were thinking at the 2 p.m. outlook today from the National Hurricane Center. They mentioned that there hasn't been any change with the system, but you can clearly see that there was a low-level circulation this morning, and the system continues to wrap up and get nicely organized. And the center is right in here, but notice the big blow-up of convection just north of the center of circulation. As this pulls off to the north, a lot of this convection will begin to wrap around the center, and I think we'll go ahead and have a strengthening system here. The official forecast from the Hurricane Center keeps this around 60 miles per hour, but I think we could get this thing up around hurricane category 1 or 2 when it's all said and done. The HWRF and the GFDL really want to crank this thing up near major hurricane strength, so we'll have to keep an eye on this closely. But the center was clearly visible earlier this morning. In fact, if we stop that image on the first frame, right down there, you can see where it was earlier today, way down here south of the convection, but now when you play the loop, it's tucking up underneath the convection, so this will go ahead and strengthen. All right, went back and looked at all the systems in this exact location right around this time of the year, from the 23rd through the from August 22nd, October 22nd through October 24th, being today is the 23rd, and Mitch is the only one that shows up on the map near this position. And, you know, Mitch, of course, killed tens of thousands of people, or at least around 10,000 people down in Honduras from heavy rainfall. And that was back in 1998. And then the system went through Central America and came back over the Yucatan and headed towards Florida. It came into South Florida as a tropical storm. So it's very well likely that no matter what form this is in the Yucatan, or if it makes it into Central America, it's eventually going to bounce off and take off to the northeast, because there is a front coming down. But that just lets you know there is a historical reference to this particular position of this storm and history with Hurricane Mitch. Now here are all the models from the HurTrack program, and you can see we have a squash spider on the screen, but pretty much the thinking is there's two camps of models. You have the one camp down in here that keeps it somewhere over Honduras or Belize or Guatemala, and then you have the other group of models that have it moving northwest and heading towards the Yucatan. Now, I believe that the system is going to head more northwest, because you can see it on the satellite images and continuing to move off to the northwest, and there's no westerly, not very much of a westerly component to this right now. And you can see the trough moving down. I'm going to show you a satellite picture in just a second. So I think this is going to take more of a northwesterly course here over the next couple of days. But there are the models. Now again, we'll have a better idea, and in tomorrow's tropical update video, I'll get into the best performing models. It's a little bit too early to focus on that just yet. and I'll get into all the scenarios on what the best performer is and where the best model thinks this system is going to go. Right here is the water vapor shot of the western Atlantic Basin, and you can see a very quickly moving jet stream moving down towards this system. And let's stop it right here, and you can see the very high wind shear, dry air in the jet stream that's coming down with a trough of low pressure that's coming across like this, and all this wind shear is going to increase down here, probably 30 to 40 knots. The question is, how strong is it going to be by the time if Rena gets up this way? Will it have the high wind shear to deal with? This will be about 3 or 4 days from now. The thinking is, if it does affect South Florida, it's going to be heading towards the weekend coming up, next weekend rather. And then if it goes inland, and naturally this is going to head inland pretty quickly. If it heads inland in Central America, it's only going to be a couple of days. It's going to be in this area here. So if it remains out of the water, it gets a little bit stronger, heads a little more poleward, bounces off the Yucatan, the front comes down and tries to pick this up. Question is how much wind shears there are going to be by the time it gets near west tip of Cuba or the Yucatan Channel here. That's the million-dollar question. But this thing could really wrap up. There's very warm sea surface temperatures down there, and this thing could really crank up in a hurry. All right, well, that's about it for now. We'll be back with another update tomorrow evening on this situation, as this could very well be Rena by then, and then we'll have to watch this very closely for the Yucatan Peninsula. This could be a powerful hurricane heading up that way. We'll keep close tabs. But that's it for now. Thank you again for visiting Hurricane City.